Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is me, Shoaib Ahmed, student of BS Computer Science, currently in third semester, Section G.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdul Ghaffar, currently studying in BScs 3, Section G, Sakragi.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Here is also third team member Shakir Hussain that is also currently studying in BScs 3 at Sakkar IBA University.
So, hello. This is the prototype of our app, Expense Tracker. We have built our app using the Java and XML for the UI design. So, this is the home screen of our app, in which you can see it is showing the total balance, number second, income button, third, expense button, and lastly the history of the transaction will be displayed also here, whether it is income or expenses. And number second, when the user will hit income or expense button, he will be shown if he has hit the income, the income screen will be popped up, and if he has hit the expense button, the expense screen will be shown or displayed. So both income and expense have three things: number, total income, total expense. On the both screen, if it is of the income transactions will be displayed. If it is expense screen, the transactions or expense history will be displayed. If user wants to add income, he can hit the button right here, and it will be taken to this screen of the add income, where he can enter the amount in numbers or digits, and the second, the type of income, and whether it is salary, bonuses, gifts, and the date of that particular income and the time of that particular income. And he can save it and cancel it. Number third, if he wants to delete this income, he can just tap it, and it will also take him to this screen of add income, where he can hit the delete button, or if he wants to edit, he can edit the amount after tapping the salary from the transaction history and save it. And if he wants to add the expense, he can hit this button right over here, and it will take him to this add in expense screen, where he can enter the amount of expenditure and the type of expense and the date and time of that particular product thing. He can save it, then it will be saved and will be shown here in the history. If he wants to edit or delete, he can just tap it, and it will open this screen, and where the amount, if he has written wrong amount, he can modify it and save it. If he wants to delete it, the whole history of that particular thing, he can just tap the delete button, and that's all. This
Here is our project of Android in Android Studio. So let's first discuss the data structures that we have used in our project. So first we have created a class of history where we are going to create the objects of each history, and we have used the array list to connect these all objects. So history, here we have transaction, amount, type, date, and time, and ID. So these around six variables we have used in our history. So we are going to store the each history, whether it is income or expense, and as a object of history. Then we add all the objects of history into an array list, or some in some places we have also used the linked list. Okay, so This is the constructor. Okay, so these are some getters, setters and getters of histories, as we have following the what we call object oriented paradigm. So we are going to consider each thing as an object. As a history it is an object. So history is for both, for income and for expense, as well as the amount that we are showing on the home screen, as you have seen in the Figma design or the prototype of our project. So let's first discuss a history manager, how we are going to manage our history. So there are different functions, like there is generate id. Each id should be different from another id. And there is what we call save history. So save history function is for saving the history permanently in permanent storage. Load history, this is for the loading history if there is a permanent data stored in our project, stored in our mobile app. So it is first going to retrieve that data and show that data into our screen through some data structures. And then if we are going to perform any transactions, either add history or add income, then it is move with the flow that we have chosen. Okay, there is clear data. This is for the clearing whole data. Okay, and this is the add history. So it is first creating an object of history using the all parameters that we are going to receive from the add income history, add expense or add income. And then it is going to assign an id to that object, and then it is going to be added into our history list. So history list is simply an array list of the objects. Okay, so then we have update history. Update history is frame, but we are going to identify the position of our object and the position in the array list. Then after finding the position, then we are going to update the history array list through these parameters, whatever the parameters we have received in our update screen. So these are going to be updated in our history of that object, and then it is going to be added into our array list. Okay, so this is for recalculation of the total income and total expense. It is going to every time when we are going to update or doing something adding, like here's add history, so it is going to recalculate our expenses and incomes. Okay, so here is our delete function, which is deleting the elements using the id of position of that object that we want to delete. Then it is going to find that object into complete array list, and then after finding it, it simply remove first of all it minuses the amount that is inside that object. Or if we want to remove the object of income or expense, it depends, minus from the income, minus from the expense, then we are going to remove that object. Then after removing, we are going to save that history in our project. Okay, so these are simply setters and getters for total income and total expense. And let's now move to the add income and add expense. This is the add income screen. So these are simple buttons that we will understand in our UI and our mobile app. So first, after clicking these buttons, like if we click pick date button, then the date screen will be shown, and the format that is going to be saved in our selected date, it depends on the format that we have written here. Okay, as we have written 02D, 02D, 02, 04D. So it is the 2 digit of day, 2 digit of month, and 2 digits of 4 digits of year. So in this way we calculate our dates. And pick date, pick time button, this is the submit button. Here we first validate our the entries, if these entries are valid, if these all entries are correct, and in none of the text field is what we call, none of the text field is null, null, yeah, none of the text field is null, then it is going to be validated true. And the amount is in positive integers, the amount is in the negative integers, so then it will be validated. And after validating, it is going to add the selected text into some variables. And after adding these amounts or text into variables, it is going to call the history manager, as we have seen in the history manager, the add history function. So it is going to call these all things, and it is going to send the context of our screen from the amount, from the place where the amount is has been taken. Okay, so it will show some text toast message as a notification, then it is finished that activity. And this is the validating function, boolean, some sort of things. And okay, so it is very simple to understand. We have used try and catch, so that if the amount is less than, or the amount is negative, then it is going to show some sort of error, like the error should be set a text invalid amount. Okay, so is valid false, so it is going to store the is valid false, then the return valid. Okay, so these are the simple function of validating. So here's in the aid income, same things are there, just the difference of screen, everything is exactly same. Here just we have added income added successfully, so just changing the names of notifications, and the parameters, like the value that will be added is income. Okay, so these are the data structures that we have used here. Okay, so for permanent storage of data, we have used the shared preferences. Shared preferences are simply the storing device in mobile apps, especially in Android app, and that we also use in Flutter mobile applications, that is the cross-platform development platform. So in shared preferences, we store the data in some key value pairs. It is some sort of like that we store in our hash tables. So these are the keys. Like this is the shared preferences name, history prefs. Here is the history list key. Here is the total income key. Here is the total expense key. So these are different keys that we will be using in our project to store the data as a permanent storage, so that the data should not be lost when we close our mobile app. As the data structures cannot store the data permanently, therefore we are going to use these keys to store the data, these shared preferences to store the data as a permanent storage.
Assalamu alaikum. So here is we have all coding files with its APK file on an emulator. So let's go through all the files and to understand where the each functionality code is placed and how this functionality code will lead us to other screens. So first let's run our APK file on emulator. So here it runs, and first of all we have a main activity Java file where we placed the space screen code. This space screen code basically starts the whole application file. Then this application file will leads to the splash screen. Here you can say 1 minute. I'm going to run again it. So here is a splash screen. You can say this splash screen will be run only 3 seconds. Here we have set the time 3 milliseconds, so it will only for 3 seconds, and then it will lead to the basically home screen. Here is a coding. Then we are going to our home screen file. Yeah, here is the home screen file where we have a balanced text view. This is, and then we have a history recycle view. This history recycle view basically shows both for income and expense histories. And then we have a history adapter that will adapt the whole history and our given data, and we have a clear data button that will clear the whole balance and also whole transaction histories and all the data that we have inputted. So here other functionalities we have clear data button, history adapter, and update balance, methods for update balance, method for setup recycle view, method for setup button actions. Okay, also we have a history adapter. So we have two main functionalities here. One functionality is income button and the other functionality is expense button. So when we click the income button, this income button basically will lead us to the or navigate us to the home income screen, and this home screen expense screen button will navigate us to the expense screen. Let's click it and check. So after clicking in this, navigate to the income screen button. Okay, I am going to open income screen button, income screen file. Here we have income screen file, java code. In this screen, total income text view and in history recycle view. Basically this history recycle view only save the income history, only income history, not expense history. Here we have 2 to 3 initialize views, that is total income. This is total income, uh, history recycle view and back arrow. Back arrow will lead back to the home screen. Okay, so if I am going to check that whether the history is save or not, so I can check here. And if I'm going to, if I have to add income or any other income expense, then I will click on this button. Here you can see the new pop-up button, this screen. Basically this pop-up button will allow us to add new income. Let's click it. Okay, so here you can see this income screen will now lead us to the edit screen. Now this edit screen will allow us to give inputs of your income expense and then add income. And in income screen we have also menu, delete button and also edit button. Later on we will discuss it. So first of all, let's go to the add income. I am going to open add income file. Here is the add income file. In add income file we have four basic buttons or text inputs. uh, First is date edit text, time edit text, amount edit text and type edit text. So let's see. Here is a time date picker and time picker. Basically we have add two functionalities that will allow us to set time or date instead of writing. So you can say here is a date we can pick and here is the time, and after that we will it will allow us to input enter amount and type of amount, then add income. So there is two more functionalities, that if there is no income type amount is input, then it will create an error that you must have to put, otherwise it will not add it. So here if else conditions that shows this functionality, and also time edit button, also for date edit button, and also for amount type and also for amount. If amount less than 0, it will shows a error amount must be greater than 0, and if amount is greater than 0, it will not throw any error. Same condition is with edit type text, where it will allow us to edit income type. If I have never input, then it will throw a error, please enter the type of income. So here is both functionalities. Okay, so I am going to input income amount, here income added successfully. So these are the important functionalities for income, and let's see its edit and delete button. I am going back to the income screen Java file to see its functionalities of edit and income button. So when I click the edit button, it will lead to the add income, where all the functionalities of pick time and date, add amount and add amount type, where I can change my time, date, also income type and income, and then update, not submit, update here. Okay, now see the history is updated. Also for delete button, if I delete it, it will remove. Also this will remove from the transaction history where both income and expense histories are saved. So the same functionality is with expense screen. uh, let's open the expense screen. Here is expense screen Java file, and here is a add expense screen also. Okay, so you can see here we have also both four types in input types for the date, text, amount and amount type, and we have also a pick data date button and time button. The same functionalities with here. Let's click it. You can see here is also a history button, also a back arrow, also total expense amount showing, and we have also a button, pop-up button, that will allow us to add an expense. After clicking this, we have all four functionalities where we can pick time, pick date, writing amount and expense type. For example, I am going to write shopping. Here this is saved. Also same functionalities edit and delete. If I click this, it will lead us to the here, and then I am update. It is updated, and if I delete, it will delete it. So let's see what changes are occurred at home screen. Now you can see there is a expense transaction history saved here, and also the amount has been minus from total balance. So these are all the functionalities. Here you can see the coding functionality of this for edit time, for edit date or pick up time or date, and also for a submission button, and also we have some conditions. If date and time is not selected, then please select a time or select a date, and if income type and amount is not written, then also it will throw a exception. Please enter an amount, and amount must be greater than 0 or invalid amount, and for text income type, please enter the type of expense. So here is all functionalities, and also so it's all about its coding functionality, and it's also about how it will different buttons will navigate us to different screens, and how we can from different screens come back to the home screen.